Today we're talking about ND filters and why you need these for video. Also, we're talking about this brand new ND filter from Polar Pro. It's the Peter McKinnon edition, and this thing is amazing. So this is something awesome that I've been waiting for a while. This is the ND filter from Polar Pro, but it's not just a single ND filter. They now make veritable ND filters, which basically allows you to change the strength of the ND on the filter while you're out filming, so you don't have to carry like a bunch of different ND filters with you. So let's talk about why you need ND filters in general, especially for video shooters. There's different needs for video and photo, and mainly, you know, what I shoot is video, so ND filters are super important if you want to get like shallow depth of field. You want to get that cinematic look. So when you're shooting video, if you have an ND filter, what it basically allows you to do is bring down your shutter speed so that you can get double that of your frame rate. And so what happens when you get double that of your frame rate is that your footage gets to that cinematic look. The issue when you have a high shutter speed is that your footage becomes super jittery, and that's not very cinematic. So when you're trying to get like the shallow depth of field, you have to open your aperture up as wide as possible. So on this lens, it's a 2.8. Right now I'm shooting at a 2.8, which allows me to get some blur in the background. I'm shooting micro four thirds, so it's not gonna be super out of focus. But when I show you with my 85mm lens, you can really see how the background is thrown out of focus. Now the issue is that lets a ton of light into the sensor. So you're not gonna be able to get that shallow depth of field look when you're shooting at low shutter speeds and having your aperture wide open, so you have to compensate. And to compensate, a lot of times what you would do if you don't have an ND filter is you're gonna boost your shutter speed, and what happens is when your shutter speed gets super high, you're gonna get that really jittery look because it's freezing action. And you don't wanna freeze action to get cinematic look. You want to basically have a little bit of motion blur. And that's what makes videos look good, is having a little bit of motion blur. So to get that, you have to have your shutter speed at double that of your frame rate. So I'm shooting at 30 frames a second. My shutter speed is at 1/60th. And to do this, I have my ND filter on. And so I'm using the Polar Pro ND filter. It's veritable. So as you can see, I can open it up. It's super bright. Bring it down. 5 stops of ND allows me to be at 30 frames a second, 60 shutter speed, a 2.8, and my ISO is around a 400. So it allows me to get a good looking image with my aperture wide open and my shutter speed at double that of my frame rate. Now, if you don't care about the jittery look and all of that, then you can just close down your shutter speed. But honestly, it looks so much better when you get your shutter speed to double that of your frame rate, and you can get more of that cinematic look. It'll just make your videos in general look so much better. And that's why you would need ND filters for shooting videos specifically, and why I use them with every piece of video content I shoot. I always have an ND filter on the lens. So let's talk about this Peter McKinnon edition Polar Pro veritable ND filter. What makes this so special is that it is a multiple stop ND filter, so that you can change the exposure without having to replace the filter. So you just have to spin it, and then it goes darker, and you can open it brighter and darker. And there's 2 editions. There's a 2 to 5 stop, and there's a 6 to 9 stop. For video shooters, if you're trying to get that shallow depth of field, I highly suggest getting the 2 to 5 stop. That's what I've found is kind of in the range for most situations. Or you could just put one of these on the lens, and that's all you need for basically a bunch of different lighting conditions. So Peter McKinnon worked with Polar Pro to make sure that this is a filter that he would actually use. And the one thing that I think really stands out is that with a veritable ND filter, it has hard stops. So it doesn't spin infinitely. It stops at each end of the spectrum, which a lot of veritable NDs don't have that functionality, so that when you're spinning it to one way or the other, it keeps rotating, and it actually messes with the ND, and you'll get some weird warping effects, and that's not something that you'll ever get with one of these filters. One other thing about this ND filter is that it comes with an awesome lens cap which protects your lens. It's a little thing, but little things go a long way. And also just the packaging around this whole filter, it's pretty amazing what it comes with. It's quite an experience when you get this filter in your hand. I highly suggest, if you want to get that shallow depth of field, if you want to bring your shutter speed down so that you can get that more cinematic look, then get one of these veritable ND filters, because it's going to make your life so much easier. This is going to be the filter that I'm going to have on my cameras whenever I'm out shooting, and it definitely makes it so I don't have to carry around a bunch of extra gear. I just need to bring the one filter, and it covers a ton of lighting conditions. Guys, if you want to know more about this Polar Pro ND filter, I'll put a link down below in the description where you can check it out. And guys, that's it. I'll see you on the next one.